Hey, what's up everybody? Steve Billington Fishing here, and today I'm in the office for a quick video to talk about winter baits. With the fall bite coming into full swing right now, in a lot of places really getting into that transition, everyone's talking about fall baits, which makes sense, right? Well, one of my viewers asked if I would talk about winter baits. And that actually makes a lot of sense for this channel because in some ways when it comes to winter fishing, I am not conventional. Now I'm in Missouri, so I'm looking at this through the lens of what I do here in the Midwest. When it's cold, I will fish rivers and lakes both. And I just kind of have something that works for me. Now, I do have one lake near me that's a warm water reservoir. It's got a power plant on it. I will fish a little more springtime on that particular lake. But I'm going to show you, what do I got here, 5? Yeah, I'm going to show you my 5 primary baits for approaching winter. And these are for anywhere that I go. One of them, and I'll talk about when I get there, one of them is new. I just started fishing it not that long ago. I will definitely keep it tied on through the winter. So I don't exactly know how that one's going to go, but I have a fair amount of confidence in it. The rest of these I have used every winter for the last couple of seasons, some more than others. That's enough blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about the actual baits. The first bait that I'm going to show you is the most unconventional bait I have in this lineup. Every time I talk about winter fishing and this bait, it makes my buddy Trey nuts. He just doesn't think I catch fish on it. But the truth is, I do. And it's probably my most consistent winter bait. It just works out. And I think that's what bugs him about it. And it is the chatterbait. There's at least one person watching this going, this whole video is bullshit now because he brought out a chatterbait. For all these presentations I'm going to show you, I will vary up on color with pretty much all of them except this one. This is really, with very few exceptions, the only chatterbait I'm going to throw all winter. This fire crawl pattern here. And because I'm not conventional, I do not have a fire crawl trailer on there. So this trailer is the MRE from Tactical Fishing. If you watch my videos, I don't know why it has hair on it. Listen, I got a couple German Shepherds. You can't sit anything down in this house without getting dog hair on it. Anyway, if you watch my videos, you've seen and watch me talk about the MRE a lot. It's my favorite chatterbait trailer, but I actually use the green pumpkin black on that fire crawl chatterbait. This particular chatterbait is the Slobber Knocker from Berkley Fishing. It's a 3/8. 3/8 is pretty much my go-to year-round for just about everything. It's the weight that I like to throw. I'm the most comfortable with. But this chatterbait gets me a lot of fish in the winter, if we're being honest. Doesn't really seem to matter how cold it gets, what the conditions are. So how do I fish it? Because y'all already know with a chatterbait, I just chuck and burn, chuck and burn, chuck and burn. In the winter, I fish this differently. I will chuck and burn it. If I'm getting that kind of a bite, I'm all for it. But what I tend to do the most with the chatterbait is almost treat it like a jig. Almost. And when I say treat it like a jig, I mean treat it like a jig the way I fish a jig, which we'll talk about because, spoiler alert, it's on the list. So I tend to throw this out right up against the bank if they're up there. If they're deeper, I'll put it down by brush. But I really like to fish this by throwing it up on the bank. I'll burn it in a few feet, let it drop. And I'll let it sit there for, 15, 30 seconds. And then I will burn it, let it drop, slow roll it, and then after I've slow rolled it a little bit, I'll pop it up, and then I'll burn it back to the kayak. On that pop up and burn is when I get 90% of my winter chatterbait bites. It's almost like they watch me play with it and they don't really care. And then it pops up and they pay attention, and then it takes off and they can't help it. That's when they grab it. I will vary that up, but there's a lot of slow rolling along the bottom and then pop and burn. All right, moving on from the chatterbait. This is much more conventional. Crankbait. There's a lot of guys that throw a crankbait year-round and do very well. My buddy Noah Witten is one of them. I like a crankbait bite, but for me, crankbait is just so much more fall through spring. I always have a crankbait tied on, fall through spring, but the rest of the year I really don't. In the winter, I particularly like the Money Badger. This is the 6.25 size in Blaze. I will also throw the FX Shad color. Same thing, the Money Badger in 6.25. I do very well with this. The way I fish this is I throw it and I burn. I throw it and I burn. I throw it and I burn. The Money Badger is designed to be stalled out. When you're retrieving it and you stop, it will hold that depth right there in front of their face for a long time. The Money Badger was actually originally designed for walleye and ended up being exceptional for bass. That's what it's now marketed to. So I will occasionally let it have that pause and rise, especially in bait balls. I will stall it when I'm breaking up a bait ball, let it hover there for a second and then burn it. But FX Shad's the other color. My primary color for winter, Blaze. Money Badger 6.25. All right, this one's new to my lineup, but I'm going to show it next because it runs along the same lines as the crankbait. And that is the jerkbait. A very well-used one, if you can see the middle hooks there. This particular crankbait, this particular jerkbait is from Council Bluff Crankbaits. See, I was getting ready to say the business name so you can see why I flubbed. Council Bluff Crankbaits. It's a very, very nice color. I like this crankbait a lot. I also like the Berkley Stunna. So I just started fishing a jerkbait this month. I've owned several for over a year now. And my problem is I would cast them out and I'd try to work them and I would just lose that patience. And then I started chucking them out, fishing them like a crankbait, throwing them out and burning them back to me. And I've had exceptional luck with that. I've also done very well with smallmouth, throwing it out, burning, and then letting it stall and like tap on the reel. Tap on the reel, letting them stall and then burning it. So I'm not fishing a jerkbait like most of you are fishing a jerkbait. It doesn't mean I won't get to that point, but I can see this being very, very good in the winter because I've seen on those colder fall mornings, I've already kind of seen in the clear water of the river where bass will follow this when I'm retrieving it and not take it. Or I'll fish it back to me and I'll see them follow it and I'll stop and they'll watch it and then they'll turn around and swim off. But when I bring it back to me and they're sitting there watching it and I give it that little twitch and then stall, they're hitting it. So I can see fishing this a little traditionally being very good when that water gets colder. So jerkbait, number 3 in my lineup. Number 4, I'm saving my favorite for last. Shaky head, specifically with the Swagger stick from Tactical Fishing. I will throw all black more than anything this winter, but I will vary it up, specifically with watermelon red. But the shaky head with the Swagger stick from Tactical Fishing, high confidence bait when they're being stubborn. So that's definitely on the list. All right, I saved my favorite winter fishing bait for last. The reason I like this the best is there's no guesswork. When you've got a fish on with this bait, you'll know it. And when you've got a fish on with this bait, well, there's just no better time for that nice solid hook set where you know you've got them. It's cold. You've been grinding. They pick it up. You know they're there. You know their fate moments before it happens. And then you reel down and you just drive that jig home. My jig of choice year-round is Mission Fishing jigs. These are handmade by Dave over there. One of the reasons this is my favorite jig to use year-round, it's actually the only brand of jigs I own anymore. And the main reason for that is Dave doesn't do this to make a profit. Dave makes this to do awesome things like send kids to camp. They're very reasonably priced. The money is going to a good place, and they are flat out phenomenal jigs. Like, really, you're not going to get a better jig for what this one costs, and it's just such a phenomenal jig. I can't tell you guys enough how much I just love the Mission Fishing jigs. This one is in the Tequila Sunrise color. This is a custom-made color for me. Dave will make it for you also, but he came up with this for me based off what I had asked him for. Did an absolutely fantastic job. This one is 3/8 because, again, that's my favorite to throw. Anchoring this awesome jig as the trailer, this is the Bomber Bug from Tactical Fishing. This one is in June Bug. It just matches the profile of my custom jig absolutely perfectly. This looks like a great meal to a bass in the winter. If I'm not throwing this color, I'm throwing black and blue. The way I fish this is the same way I fish it the rest of the year. I cast it up super shallow, burn it a few feet, let it hit the bottom, tap, 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 reel it, tap, 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 reel it, tap, 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 reel it, burn it back to the boat. I fish a jig faster than most people. The only time I will fish this thing slower is when the bite is just that finicky. Sometimes you gotta let it soak. Same thing with the shaky head. Sometimes they just need a bit more of a soak. But in winter fishing, I'm all about staying warm. Staying warm means moving. I'm not soaking most of my baits very long unless the fish are just absolutely dictating that I do. So there you have it in a nutshell. That is my primary 5 baits for winter. The chatterbait, the crankbait, the jerkbait, the shaky head, and the jig. I know, some of you guys are just not going to be okay with the chatterbait. Somewhere out there right now, Trey is screaming at the TV, the computer, whatever he's watching this on. He's probably already in the comment section pounding on his keyboard. Makes him nuts that I throw this one. Oh, boy. Anyway, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Do whatever you want this winter, but this is my thoughts and my reasoning behind these baits. One of them might help you out. Hey, you might be the only person in your friend group out there throwing a chatterbait, but you might be the only one who knows why you're throwing a chatterbait. Because it catches fish in the winter. I don't care what anybody says. This is a year-round bait for me. As always, don't forget to comment down below, especially if you want to hate on me for throwing the chatterbait. You're more than welcome to jump on in there and join Trey. Also, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hope this helps you out for this coming winter, and if it does, definitely circle back around. Drop it in those comments because I'd like to hear all about it, especially if it's on a chatterbait. Tight lines, guys.